What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Shoe Booty Sports coming at you Tuesday night, a little after 9 o'clock Central Time, January 31st. This is your host, Graham Powell, co host Bradley Brown. Say what's up, Brad.
How's it going?
It's going. Good night. Hogs win, by the way. We'll cover that here in a sec. But quick shout out to our sponsor, Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the Rhino Ultra. How it works is you sign up for one or all 5 of the races there at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience, track it with your fitness app, screenshot your results as proof of completion, submit those results to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified, your reward will be shipped to you by mail, free shipping on all orders. Also, check out their gear section for t shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. Again, rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series. Okay, so Hogs win, beat Texas A&M. We'll start with that. Cover football here in a sec. Obviously, big weekend, but yeah, our Razorbacks won. It looks like Muss is doing what Muss does, is making the most of what he's got right now, and they're starting to get it together. Devo Davis had a big game. Makai Mitchell, happy birthday to him. Is it Makai or Mikhail? I think Mikhail is the
Mikhail.
okay. Yeah, yeah. Happy birthday to the big fella. Huge night. I think what 9 points, 13 rebounds, 7 blocks, I believe was his stat
Yeah.
line.
He had him a block party as they put
Yeah,
it on TV. But
he
yeah,
had a he had a game that was by far his best game as a Razorback. Devo had a very Devo game times about like 3 or 4. It was he got I think 17 points, made some big shots. His shooting has gotten better. It's still not great at times, but his shooting has gotten better. Devo is just that's just who he is. He's going to, and you know what I was talking about if you watch the Hogs play regularly like we do. He's going to do some things that make you scratch your head, and then he's going to do some things that will wow you a little bit too. That's just the player he is. You got to take the bad with the good. He's our Westbrook in a lot of ways, and he I don't know, overall had a good game, was one of the better players tonight, had some very head scratching moments. He had probably, I don't know, 5 to 7
5.
5 to 7 turnovers. It felt like 7 at times. But again, that's just what you're going to get with him. Anthony Black had a good game. All around it was just Council did his part. Nice. How about that dunk, by the way? Where is that going to be on the top 10 tonight?
It's got to be top 2.
I agree. I don't see 2 other plays tonight happening that were better than that one. Huge dunk on a fast break by Ricky Council. The fourth is at the fourth or whatever it is. One of those numerals. Anyway, good game by him. Hogs win. I did not realize Texas A&M was 7-1 in the SEC coming into this game.
What? I did
Okay,
not
there you
see
go.
that at the. I did not see that by their logo.
Well, that was the first thing that I noticed as they were coming because I switched it. I was doing some computer work and switched it over to the game right at 6 o'clock. And they're coming out of the tunnel and it shows the record and they were whatever 15-6, I think it was. I think they're both 15-7 now overall, them and Arkansas after the game. But yes, 7-1 in SEC play. I knew that they had beaten Auburn and I thought that was a big upset at the time, but I don't know who all they have played. I don't know if they played in, I'm guessing they haven't played in Alabama. Maybe they have, but and that could be who the one loss was against. But yeah, 7-1 in the league coming into tonight. It's not in the top 25, but yeah, Arkansas does improve to 4-5 in league play now. This is the team they're going to have the rest of the way. You heard Dykes talking about it a little bit. Nick Smith essentially kind of saying, don't count me out. Like he wants to come back. I'm sure he does. I don't. If I were betting money on it, I would probably say he won't though. At this point, I don't know. We'll see. He said he's at like 90% according to what he's saying. I
Yeah,
don't.
I don't know. I heard a lot of people talking like he was gonna come out versus Kentucky. Think we play them next week, maybe. They're all circling that as his return date, but yeah, I'm like you. I'll believe it when I see it. But he's pretty vocal about he plans on playing again. Why he's in school. I think his tweet today that I seen was, "Y'all really think I would enroll back in school to not play?" Like,
Yeah, that was his
like,
reply to somebody, some dumb fan, basically, talking shit. Whatever they said. Arkansas fans are upset that they've only gotten 5 games out of the number 3 recruit in the country, and I can understand you being disappointed in that. We all are, but I don't think you're any more disappointed than he is about that.
yeah,
It's not like it's not like this is something he wants to do, right?
yeah. It's not
But
like he planned it.
yeah, it's not like this was the plan coming in as a hog, but it was that. I mean, that was a fair response. Why would you think I would come back to school if I don't plan on playing? Because I mean, he'll be a first round pick, I think, no matter if he plays another second for the Hogs or not. I don't know. I haven't looked at the draft boards. I don't know how much him not playing this year is going to hurt that. Certainly not going to help it because you just haven't seen enough of the guy, especially in a meaningful game.
Yeah,
But if he does come back close to the postseason, end of the regular season, whatever, if he can just come back for the tournament, although even then, I mean, how much is that going to disrupt things, right? Because that's going to mess up your chemistry some. It's hard to say that you don't want that guy in your lineup one way or another. And if anything, I'm sure he'd be coming off the bench if that were the case. But we could do this all day. The point is we don't know. We don't know if he's going to come back or not. Sounds like he wants to, and yeah, it's not up to him health wise. My only the only thing I would say, Razorback fans, you don't. I mean, just keep your mouth shut if that's. Of course, you're. I don't want to say frustrated, but maybe disappointed that you hadn't seen more. He's probably the highest rated recruit Arkansas has ever had. I don't know how high Corliss Williamson was, but he's the highest since him at the very least. And of course, you're disappointed that you've not seen him on the floor for more than 5 games. We all are, but so is he. So if you want to attack the guy on Twitter, just maybe step back and say, do I have priorities? And if so, are they in the right spot? Because I'm a grown man, probably in my 30s or 40s, talking shit to a 19-year-old kid on Twitter that I've never met. So maybe think about that when you start to type this out and hit send or switch to water if you've been boozing a little bit that day. Just try not to be stupid. That's all I would say about it.
yeah. If only everybody took that advice on Twitter, but we all know that's not possible.
Twitter would not be what it was if it wasn't full of. That's the thing. Anybody can have a Twitter account, and there's 8 billion people in the world, and we're not all smart. So you're going to get that. You're going to get a lot of dumbassery on Twitter. It's just what it is. But I see if it were me though, I'd kind of get a kick out of some of it. Like I wouldn't even respond if I was Nick Smith, although that was a good response to what the guy said. And I just wouldn't even bother responding to any of it. I mean, you can mute that stuff out, I believe. We're not popular or big enough to have people attack us yet. I would love some hate tweets, by the way. I would love to get more hate tweets.
Yeah. Hate
But
us up. Send us some hate tweets.
as long as you're listening, I don't
Yeah.
care. Yeah. Send us a really good one though, so I can retweet it. So you got to, I get a kick out of some of that stuff. But everybody, going back to the game itself, everybody had a lot of people played well. I mean, Council, Jordan Walsh played well, hit some big shots. Their shooting has improved. Now, the one thing that really stood out today, they could not get a defensive rebound to save their lives. I would love to look at the offensive rebound count for Texas A&M. It was significantly higher than Arkansas's. I know that that they had shown it. It was like 15-6 or something at one point, and that was early in the second half. So you got to improve that if you're going to keep winning. Of course, I think this team will finish fourth or fifth in the league by the end of the season. We'll see.
Be about like last year.
They didn't finish that low, did they?
I thought they finished third or fourth. I mean, hell,
Well,
they had a Played one game in the SEC tourney and kind of fell off at the end.
Yeah, but I had more kind of had more faith in that team than this one, and that's mostly just because of the youth on this team and just lack of experience. And I mean, losing Brazil was killer, and then obviously not having Nick Smith in there is it's hard to yeah, and they there's really not a pure shooter out there like Pinion. We didn't even see him tonight. I don't even know that
No,
he didn't even play tonight, did he?
I didn't see him on the floor, but
Yeah, he'll hit some shots for you, but he's not a sharpshooter out there. He's just the best one they have out there. Like Council, I like him, but I like him as a player. But I mean, you look at his shot, it's almost like I don't know, it's almost like I don't want to be too disrespectful here, but it's like a kid shot. The way he holds the ball and the way it comes off of his hands and stuff. It looks like a young person shooting a basketball
yeah,
at a
looks a little
goal.
wild. Yeah,
Yeah, he's just got this thing, and it's like it's pushing off that way. Like
it's
not
like,
a
oh, is he
great.
passing it? Nope, he's fading away.
Well, no
Like,
great shooter is going to have that kind of form. You're just not. But anyway, still Hogs won. Had some again. Big shout out to Mikhail Mitchell. Huge game by him. He did it all underneath the basket. Could have gotten more defensive rebounds, although he had 13 boards. Could have gotten some more defensive boards, or some of the other players could have. But anyway, got to win, so got to be happy with that if you're a Hog fan. And we will jump to football now. It was conference championship weekend, as I about ripped my earpiece out of my ear. Conference championship weekend. I was 0 for 2 on both of my picks. Can't say I was
yes, you were.
surprised. 0 for 2. You got, I guess, the Eagles one right, correct?
Yeah,
All right, we can start with the Eagles game, just because there isn't as much to talk about. What a terrible game, by the way.
yeah, it was. Man, yeah. Once Purdy went out, it was well, hell, probably even before Purdy went out, it was done. But yeah, once I didn't have a quarterback, man, that was tough to watch.
Eagles looked like the better team, even with Purdy in there for the one drive. We essentially saw him in there at full strength.
Yeah,
The Eagles, you could say, I could have said on paper with the four teams left, the Eagles were the best team left. I could have said that all year. The Eagles were the best team in football. A lot of people said Buffalo, but the Eagles roster is just so stacked. You look at it on paper, you can, and I guess it's the Jalen Hurts factor. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's the Eagles have the best offensive line in football. They have a stout defense, like the number 2 defense in the NFC, I think, right behind San Francisco, who had statistically the best, maybe the best. At least they're up there as far as 1-2 punch at wide receiver in the league. They got a run game, which you're going to have, of course, with the best offensive line in the league. And Jalen Hurts, I mean, the guy can throw dimes. He's proven that. He's had a heck of a year statistically, and he does make that offense go. You want to say, well, he's just on a great team. Well, look at how they did without him. In the 2 or 3 games or whatever it was this season, they lost, I think, all those games, right?
yep, I believe you are correct.
Yeah, lost those 2 games. I believe it's 2 games he missed, and they lost both of them. And the one game that they did lose with him in there was against Washington. I watched that whole game, and like the Eagles shot themselves in the foot the entire game. I mean, the
Yeah,
entire game it was just like Jalen Hurts would throw like a 40-yard bomb, and the guy would like in one play the guy was running, and then
get it
got
stripped.
it stripped. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was just the entire game for them.
perfectly tipped balls to the defense, easy interceptions. Like, yeah, it's a pretty rough game.
Yeah,
Then they
but it
fumble
was
inside the 5 yard line a couple of times too.
which game are we talking about? The Washington game?
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, it was
Yes.
just it was
What?
everything that could go bad went bad.
Yes. That was the The one time they were kind of at essentially at full strength, that's what it was. Everything that could go wrong did that game. Uh, yeah, everything went there. They didn't have to throw the ball much once Purdy was no longer in the game, and it was clear that I can't even remember the guy. Was it Josh Johnson? What was his name? The essentially fourth string quarterback.
I think Josh Johnson. Yep, you had
Yeah,
it right.
we can see why he's been on 124 teams in the 15 seasons or 13 seasons he's been in the league. I mean, the guy just wasn't very good. It's a tough situation to go into. But when Purdy came back and was just handing it off, though, like I changed the channel at that point. It was just too much. It was too hard for me to watch at that point. I was like, I'll
Yeah,
go to. I literally went to the pregame, the pregame for the AFC Championship game. That was more interesting than the NFC Championship game had become. But yeah, I think the Eagles would have beaten them even with Purdy in there. I just figured with Bosa and them, they could maybe get to Hurts more, but I, for whatever reason, decided to underestimate the best offensive line in football. So anyway, am I coming out all right on this end?
but I was about to say you got a little chunky there.
Okay,
So
yeah. It's that internet connection unstable. So hopefully that comes off okay. And here when we stream this, I guess later this evening. But anyway,
our
yeah,
quality
Eagle.
control team will take care of it.
Yeah, I'm in Central Arkansas. He's in Northwest Arkansas. We had a big, well, not big, but we had a nice storm roll through last night and roll through again today. So I did not go to
Yep.
work today, by the way. I already told my boss not coming in tomorrow. So I
Yeah,
can
it
at
was
least
all
take my
day here
time.
yesterday. So
Yeah.
it was fun. Got started off with the freezing rain and then came the sleet. So it was nice and slick.
Yeah, I did not leave the house today. Actually did. I was going to attempt to go into work on 3.5 hours of sleep this morning because I was like, the roads aren't that bad. I can go in, top everything off, get out of there kind of early, and feel real good about missing tomorrow. And then I went to open my car door and it wouldn't even budge. And I was like, yeah, I'm not breaking my car door to go to work. Not coming in today, boss. And I was like, I'm not coming in tomorrow either. But I still got power and everything. So
That's a
hopefully,
win. That's a
yes,
win.
it is. I still have power and heat. So that's really about all I need, and food, which I have. Which,
Like I say,
by
you
the
got to
way,
get the bread and milk.
yeah, I did not. I did. I already had bread. Didn't get any milk. Did get like pasta salad though. I was looking at my dinner. I had chicken salad and pasta salad. I'm like, on a day like today, I'm having like the summer food. Like I've got this cold ass food I'm eating when it's freezing outside. Made no sense. Okay, but anyway, AFC Championship game. All right, so the officiating was a little one sided,
A little bit.
to say the
Yeah.
least. To say the least, but it
You,
was the
you get
right
five
call.
downs. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the right. Yeah, that was weird, by the way. But they did get they made the right call at the end of the game on the late hit out of bounds.
Completely. Yeah.
It was and at first I said what a stupid penalty, and I even tweeted like give 5-8 the assist for that win, but it was but I thought the better team won something, which I did. I thought the Chiefs were the better team. You could look at the game, you could watch the whole game, and it just looked like the Bengals were playing catch up the whole time,
Yeah.
even though the score was close. The Chiefs looked like the better team. Mahomes showed out. Mahomes showed that he's still the man. He
Did
showed
you
he's
not?
still the man.
So after the third and 18, after the Bengals converted the third and 18, and I thought for sure they're going to go down there and kick a field goal, but that didn't happen. Like I was kind of shocked that that game ended like it did and in regulation because I thought at least we're going to OT, but no, no.
Yeah, I thought we were going to OT for sure. And
But yeah, just glad it was a good game, especially after that first one, man. At least all of it was watchable.
Yes, it was a very good game. Like it definitely made up for that garbage NFC Championship game we had to watch. Which, by
And
the
you,
way, I'm something tells me they're going to go back to allowing three quarterbacks on the roster instead of two after after that performance,
yeah,
after that ratings killer game. But man,
well,
I like, of course, what is it? Asai, is that his name? The Bengals linebacker. Anyway, people obviously ripping him for that. But man, I saw I don't know if you saw his press
he like
conference.
22, like he's a young kid, right?
He's a young guy, but yeah, he and yeah, just watching, they showed a video of him like with reporters in the locker room after the game. He's just devastated, and his teammate, gosh, what was his name? BJ something with a P. Uh like A plus teammate just sitting there with him. Yeah, I don't know if you saw the video.
I did, yeah.
Yeah,
Great
but man,
teammate.
God, I just felt awful for the guy. Um,
Especially him putting the reporter in check. Like, man, come on, why you gotta ask that?
yeah, it was like, it's a
It's
dumb
like, yeah,
question. Dumb
yeah,
question. Why are you asking that? Next question. Like, yeah, excellent teammate being there with them through that. But also, like, huge respect to Asai though for sitting there and answering the questions. That's not an easy thing to do.
no,
Um, Not an easy thing to do, and he did it. He did.
yeah,
Yeah, he stood there with the media, answered all the questions as hard as it was, and good on his teammate for being there with him through that too. But what was the number 57? Who, and of course it's the heat of the moment, so I'm not going to really hold this against him. But him griping as they're going in the locker room, like, you can't touch the quarterback or whatever it was. It's like, man, I
yeah,
saw you miss like a routine tackle on Pacheco that ended up being like a huge game. Like, I mean, you had your you had your moment too where that wasn't so special. Granted, the size decided the game, but
yeah,
as Zach Taylor, went up to or told him after the game, you know, uh, that didn't win or lose the game. It ended up deciding the game, but of course, what he means by that is we could have done stuff earlier to make this not an issue.
yeah. There's plenty
And
other plays where you could play the if game. Like if we would have did this, then we could have stopped them, or this would have happened. But yeah, it's just can't do that.
yeah, I felt so bad after seeing that video that I deleted my negative tweets about him. Felt so bad because I felt so sorry for him after that. I was like, God, I feel like a terrible person now for even saying it's his fault or whatever. Like I said, it decided the game, but I was like, God, I just felt terrible watching that interview. Felt awful for him. But this is probably the I'll be honest with you though. I think this is the matchup I would rather see anyway. As banged up as the Bengals offensive line was on the left side, I think the Eagles would have, I don't want to say routed them, but I think Burrow would have been on his back all day.
Yeah,
If
they got to him quite a bit in the first half. Man, it was they were dropping him left and right.
Yeah, John, they had no answer for Chris Jones. That's John Jones's brother, isn't it?
Have no idea.
I think that's Bones Jones's brother. I know Chandler is, but I think Chris Jones is too. That's a big man to try to block. He's about as good at as
Yeah, he
anybody
does.
is in the league
Yeah,
at it. But
that
yeah,
does ring a bell.
I think if the Bengals would have won that game, I think the Eagles would have beaten them by two or three scores in the Super Bowl. Probably two. But I give Burrow more credit than that in a big game for sure. But I think the Eagles would have won it. I like this matchup better. It's basically the league's best player, Patrick Mahomes, against what I think is the league's best team. And so picking it, we'll go. We can go ahead and pick. We'll touch up on it more next week because obviously it's not happening Sunday. We can go a little more in depth. But I got the Eagles winning this game. What say you?
Dude, I'm gonna roll with the Chiefs. Why not? Why not?
I'll tell you why not, because the Eagles have the best line in football. They have the best line in football. They have a stout defense. They have a better, as good as Kelsey is, they have a better receiving core than the Chiefs do, and probably a better running game, even though the Chiefs can run the ball under Andy Reid. It's, gosh, yeah, the only area I'd say I'd say the Chiefs have an advantage as a quarterback, and Jalen Hurts isn't 100%. We've people ripping on him for some of his low throws and stuff. The guy's not healthy. The guy's not 100% out there, but he's still making plays. He can still make plays with his legs. He can still make throws. Yeah, it's that's why you say why not, and that's why not for me. That's why I'm taking the Eagles. I may have been 0 for 2 this past week, but I was 4 and 0 the week prior, damn it. And
Yeah.
I think the better team is the Eagles. I mean,
Oh
would
yeah,
you
no doubt. Yeah,
yeah,
if
I was
I was
gonna
betting
say.
money, yeah, I'd probably put it on the Eagles, but I'm just saying, might as well go with the Chiefs. Make it interesting.
Well, it's Patrick Mahomes at the end of the day. It's still Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelsey still gets open all the time. And it and you could say, well, why is he getting open like that? It's because he's a big guy that can run routes like a wideout,
Yeah,
you
and he
know,
runs some filthy routes.
and he has this unbelievable chemistry with what's probably even already a top 5 all-time quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. So it's I can see why you would pick the Chiefs in this one. It makes it makes sense to a degree, but yeah, best offensive line in football, filthy pass rush. Uh, yeah, the wide receiving core and Brown and Smith. Which, by the way, Smith's catch that ended up really wasn't a catch, but it
Yeah,
still counted as one. It was still a hell of a catch.
yeah,
But
hell, I was out eating lunch with my parents down in Alma, and you just sent me that text. Holy shit, did you see that catch? It's like, no. So I pulled it up on my phone just in time for him to be showing the replay. And Dad's looking over my shoulder. He goes, "That's incomplete."
yeah,
It's like,
it
well,
was.
they called it a completion. So he's like, oh, okay.
Well, looking at the first replay, it looked like a catch.
Hmm.
It was mainly just like was he in bounds, I think, but it was looking at the first replay, it looked like a catch. But you don't get the other one till later. So I can understand not throwing the flag there, even though maybe you should anyway, just to see if there's that slim chance, right? Ended up being a great chance that it would have been overturned. But yeah, anyway, all right, Super Bowl. You've heard our picks, by the way. We'll give a score next week. How about that? We'll give a score next week on predictions of that Super Bowl predictions. But
Yeah, I'll run
okay,
the numbers this week.
okay, all right. So the Pro Bowl, whatever we're calling it now, skills competition.
I
We're
guess.
we're having flag football. I think Peyton and Eli are the coaches or something like that.
Yeah.
Did you see? I saw this pop up on my screen. Tyler Huntley
Yes, I've
is
seen it.
going to the Pro Bowl. He's thrown 2 touchdown passes this year.
I thought it was a joke at first, but it's legit.
Like what in the I don't get it though. It's like just say at this point just say let's do away the flag football thing's goofy. I'm not going to watch that. But
No,
the skills competition could be cool. Like I would maybe tune into that if I had nothing to do that day. I don't
which we're
know.
probably not going to have much to do that day. But
Maybe I don't know.
I don't know.
It's I could sleep more or something, take a nap. I don't know. Something would be probably I don't know. But it's they have shown some clips this week of like previous skill competitions at the Pro Bowl with like a young Peyton Manning, a young Brady. Mark Brunell was even thrown in there because of course it was during that time. But that was pretty cool to see Peyton move like that. like he could back
Yeah,
in the day. Um, but yeah, I would tune into something like that. I guess we'll see what happens with the flag football game. Peyton and Eli could make it interesting. Are they coaches for this? Like, do we need
that's what they
confirmation on
say.
that? Okay.
That's what they say. So
I could
who
see them making it interesting, making it watchable. I enjoy the Manning cast. It's very it's very well done, very entertaining. But
kind of
yeah, Ty,
interested to kind of interested to see how the golf tournament's going to go down. How terrible? I don't know how terrible and how good some of those guys are going to be.
what golf tournament? I
I
don't
think
even know about that.
golf. I think a golf tournament's a part of the All Star Challenge or Pro Bowl Challenge, whatever you want to call it. Pretty sure I
Okay.
read something. I don't know. It's. I mean, hell, why not? I mean, they're not even really playing football.
Say anything but football because we're not getting it anyway during the Pro Bowl. I mean, it was an entertaining game as a kid, or I mean, maybe it's because I was a kid, but I want to say like it was competitive when we were younger. Like people actually they had a pride to them about it, and now now they don't even tackle, which they needed to get rid of it. They needed to get rid of it a few years ago. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, I guess, or you may see how it goes, and you can tell me how it went later on because I don't see myself
Um, I'll
going out of my
probably
way to
forget
tune
about
in.
it,
Say I
but
don't see myself going out of my way to tune in for it, but sticking to actual football, the Broncos have themselves a head coach now. Sean Payton. I think Denver gave up uh this year's first round pick, next year's second round pick, and I think they get a third round pick in return from the Saints.
I'm
And
surprised they had had that many picks to shop around. And they give a bunch of them to Seattle.
yes, they did. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they pulled that off, but they were able to. It's definitely an upgrade at head coach from what they had.
Yeah,
Yeah. So if anybody can, turn that offense around, it's Sean. That's available. It's Sean Payton. So home run higher if you're the Broncos.
get Russ back to cooking.
You're gonna have to because it's hard to believe that the guy's just
All,
washed.
all that dude's cooking right now is sushi, man, just raw fish. He ain't cooking shit.
It's right about that. He can't even get the roll right. I mean, he can't.
No,
It's like when Chipotle is like trying to fold my burrito. It's just all coming out. It's just falling apart and it's not coming together. That's what it would be like if Russ was trying to roll a sushi roll right now. But it is, yeah, it was a mess. But if anybody can turn that mess around, I would say it's Sean Payton. It's definitely a home run hire if you're Denver. Be excited if you're a Denver fan. First round pick, I'll gladly give up for the best offensive coach available because that team you would think going into the season, I thought, I mean, this is a team that can contend. Maybe not go
ha
win it all, but we're
has
gonna
all the
find out.
pieces. I mean, there's no reason why they shouldn't be putting up points.
Like you get like quarterback was all that you were missing, we thought. And you go and get a future Hall of Fame quarterback. And it just was a disaster. It was a disaster all year long. The offense was the problem too. I mean, it was an embarrassment. But yeah,
He went from Lock to Wilson and regressed. Like, how did that happen?
yeah, that's pretty wild. That was pretty wild. And Geno Smith ended up having a career year over in Seattle. So how much of it was Seattle? I mean, it like Pete Carroll's a defensive guy though. But I don't know. Geno had 30 touchdowns and 11 picks this year and like 4,200 yards passing. I mean, dude had himself a career year.
Yeah.
Ah,
Did he go to the Pro Bowl? Or is he going to the Pro Bowl?
he
Or did
sh- he,
Huntley get
sh-
in over him?
he should go over Huntley. I'd like to know who was going into the Pro Bowl. I'm going to pull
I,
up this story on ESPN real quick.
I love that Josh Allen skipping out and playing in a pro am that week. He's pretty much skipping work to play golf. It's awesome.
Yeah. All right. When the initial Pro Bowl rosters were announced in December, Patrick Mahomes was named the starter, of course, and Allen and Joe Burrow were selected as backups. Makes total sense, right? Three best quarterbacks in the league right now. The alternates were Tua, Justin Herbert, and Lamar Jackson, even though Lamar really hasn't played. All right, all these banged up quarterbacks open a spot for Huntley. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Allen elbow, Tua concussion, Herbert shoulder, Jackson knee, Burrow is out for. He's just out. He's just not gonna play. Just got done with the championship game. I don't want to go do that. Makes sense. Okay, I'm reading this from the store on ESPN.com. All these banged up quarterbacks opened a spot for Huntley, who struggled in throwing 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions this season. Gosh, a guy that threw 2 touchdowns and 3 picks is going to a Pro Bowl. Wow. Anyway, Huntley becomes the first quarterback since Vince Young in 2006 to make the Pro Bowl after throwing more interceptions than touchdowns. Which even then, that's not fair to Vince Young because you could see flashes of, I mean, this guy's going to be pretty good, even though it didn't turn out that way for him. But that's
Yeah.
another story. All right. So in addition to Huntley, Derek Carr, who's not even going to be with the Raiders, and Trevor Lawrence were added to the Pro Bowl roster Tuesday. Okay, Derek Carr tweeted, well, maybe this invitation got lost in the mail from past seasons, but I'm going back to Pro Bowl number 4. See you soon, Vegas. Okay, that's a pretty good tweet. The Pro Bowl is in Vegas?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, because it was usually it's Hawaii, right? So usually. The
I
only
hadn't been there in a couple of years, but yeah, that's what it used to be.
well, that shows how much I've watched it over the last several years. But yeah, I mean, Trevor Lawrence would be the guy that would deserve to be there. Um, I mean, Trevor Lawrence had a very Manning-like year 2, as opposed to his rookie season. I do have his numbers here. Completed 67% of his passes. This is Trevor Lawrence for 4,113 yards, 25 touchdowns to only 8 interceptions. And, got competed with the Chiefs, competed with the AFC champions. That team's coming. So yeah, he'd be the one guy that would deserve to be there among that crew. But yeah, that's I mean that's interesting news though. Tyler Huntley. Okay. All right. In quick college basketball update, and in addition to our Hogs winning, Kentucky only up 5 over a 9-12 Ole Miss team. 10-11 to play in the second half. Kentucky 14-7 right now, unranked, and this is with the conference player of the year returning. So I don't know what's happened to Kentucky, man. I'm loving it though. As an Arkansas
Yeah.
fan, I don't know what's happened there, but yeah, whatever. Hey, the Lakers win in OT. Um, we'll end on this. I mean, did you see the LeBron foul, the no call?
Yep, I think everybody's seen it but that ref.
You're right about that. My favorite part though is Patrick Beverly getting teed up for showing him the still shot of the camera. That was great. Love me some Pat Bev. Love
Best
to have.
technical foul I've seen ever.
Yes, got to be the best technical foul ever. But I got to get me I love Pat Bev shirt. But anyway, we're out of time, so we're gonna get out of here. We'll be back next week, same time. Deuces, y'all.
Peace.